Has DeWalt created your everyday carry? Let's find out. Well, DeWalt just released 4 new pocket knives. Well, let's check that. 2 new pocket knives and 2 new folding push and fold utility knives. And they're actually a great value. Let's dive in, take a closer look, and then we'll come back and wrap it all up. And by the way, DeWalt did send these to us, so this is a sponsored video. They did not ask us to make a video at all. They just sent them to us, wanted to know our feedback on what we thought of them, never asked us to do a social media post or anything. But we thought, you know what, this is a great value. We're going to go ahead and throw it out there and let them know, let you know our thoughts on this. These are the new folding knives from DeWalt. 2 of these are utility knives and 2 of these are folding pocket knives. First up, we have the DWHT 10991, which is their flip folding utility knife. And then we have the DWHT 10992, which is the push and flip folding utility knife with storage. And then we have, let's see here, this is the, that's the drop point there. So this is the DWHT 10993, which is the drop point pocket knife. And then the DWHT 10994, which was the tanto folding pocket knife, so the tanto blade. So let's go over each one of these, take a look at them. I think DeWalt's done a very good job at making a low-cost, good quality carrying knife, whether you're needing a utility knife for work, which is typically where you would see those. I don't see that as an EDC or an everyday carry for personal purposes, but maybe you do. Maybe you like carrying those. Anyway, the 2 utility knives, let's take a look at those. And then I think they've done a great job also with making a good value, personal carry, everyday carry pocket knife. By the way, I think a pocket knife is probably the most utilitarian tool you can have for the size, for the price, for what it can do. You may argue a multi-tool or a Leatherman or something like that, but I still think the pocket knife is probably the best go-to for that. Can it be a weapon? Absolutely it can, but so can a sharpened pencil. I'm not trying to argue of whether or not a knife is a weapon. I'm just saying that more times than not, a knife is used for tool purposes than it ever is for trying to hurt someone. So let's go over these. Let's kind of move these out of the way here, and we'll go over this first one. By the way, right out of the gate, these are all aluminum bodies. At first, when I first got these, and by the way, DeWalt sent these to us in a pretty box and big kind of marketing, you know, memorabilia, things like that. But regardless, they sent them to us. And when I first pulled them out of the box, they're pretty light. They're very light. And I thought this was a nylon body, but they're not. They're aluminum body. Now, these yellow bodies on or the yellow covers on the side, these are plastic, but the bodies themselves are aluminum. And so the folding utility knives are push button. So they won't just flip open. You can't just grab them and pull them open. You have a little button right here. And if you push that button, and then they swing open. So, and they swing open very easily. To close it, push the button, close it, and then it locks into place. So you can see I don't even have to swing it. I can just push the button and it's going to swing open. And then when I get it out, it's going to lock into place. Replacing the blade is very easy. Just lift this up. It's spring loaded. So lift this up. Careful pulling out. Don't put your finger near the blade. And then either flip this around and put it back in. And when it gets into place, it will lock. So you can't move it out one notch. You know, you can take the screw out and move it up a notch and have it extending. That's not the case on these. You see the double tongue there. It's going to lock into those 2 grooves once you get it into place and lock that in. Again, closing is very easy. One of the things I really like about all of these is they are all deep pocket carry. So you see the clip here. You see how far the clip is up on the body. So in other words, when you put this in your pocket, your jean pocket's going to go all the way up to the top of this. So it's pretty much going to hide that entire body down into your pocket. So you'll see the entire clip, but as far as the body of the knife, it's all going to be hidden. Some people don't like a deep carry. They like a shallow carry. I don't. I just like to make sure that all of that's kind of out of the way and not questionable. But anyway, these are all deep pocket carry. And you can flip these around. So if you don't want it tip up or don't want it tip down, you can take the clip right here, take it off, and put it down here. You can see where these 2 grooves are, and you can put it down here on the bottom. Now this knife is going to run you $14 and it has a limited lifetime warranty. And again, that's the DWHT 10991. This is the DWHT 10992. And it's everything that was. This is the push and flip folding utility knife, but with storage. And if you look at the body here, you can kind of see this one's much more narrow. This one's a little bit thicker. And the only reason is when I flip this open, you'll see right here we have some extra plastic, if you will. And basically with the knife open, I can flip this up. And then right here is a place to hold more blades. Let's grab a couple. And they say that you can store up to 5 blades in here. So let's see, this is 5 blades. And by the way, there's a magnet in there that's holding those blades. So let's see if they fall out. Pretty good. I'm sure if I shake it hard enough, I can get them to come out. But that's pretty good that they're holding in place just with the magnet. So it's easy to just pull one out, close it back up, pull the blade out. Replace that blade, discard this one, and now we're ready to go again. Again, push the button, folds into place and locks. And by the way, we cannot access that storage unless the blade is open. If I try to pull up on there, it's not coming up. It's wanting to open that blade. So I have to open that blade first, and then I can access that. Then everything as far as the other one as well, you know, the swing open, push button, as well as the deep pocket carry, and the ability to switch those from blade up to blade down with just switching the tip. And the other thing that this has that the other doesn't is what they call a gut hook. So you can see you can access the blade right there. So if you're needing to cut string, something like that, you can easily grab that and pull it and do that. So that's in there as well. By the way, all of these are also kind of lanyard ready. So you see the tether hook right there, the tether hole right there that you can also tether off this blade. So again, that's the DWHT 10992. Now we have the DWHT 10993, which is the drop point folding pocket knife. And this is one-handed flip. So you see the little lever right here. By the way, don't just try to flick it with your finger. Sometimes you can get that to open, but sometimes when they're new, that's not going to happen. If you'll give it a little wrist flick and flip with your finger, that's going to open really nicely. By the way, they say ball bearing open on there, or ball bearing on this as well. So it's not just a bushing in here, but a ball bearing, which is great to hear. And I will agree that probably is as easy as it flips open. Again, just a small flick of the wrist and the flick of the finger is going to open that very easily. Now, you can just as easily grab down here and flip it open either with your thumb. So you can thumb flip as well. So you see the tabs right there. So we can thumb flip, but you could also index finger flip. And then if you want to, you could just come down here and pull it open with your other hand as well, and then flick it open. But I find it easiest. Again, a lot of people like to flick with their thumb. I'm more of an index flipper. And by the way, all they say on this blade is stainless steel. There's no markings on the blade. It doesn't say S2 or any type of chromoly rating or anything like that. So it just tells us this is a stainless steel blade. But for the cost, I get it. It is rather sharp. That's right out of the gate. I don't know. I guess it's not really sharp. Yeah, not bad. We're going to blame it on cheap paper, right? Anyway, really and truly, it's not a bad blade there as far as sharpness, especially out of the package. Not a bad job at all. Same deep pocket carry, as well as being able to flip the clip from one side to the other for either a blade up or blade down carry. And by the way, it's a liner lock. So you can see here we have the aluminum body, and then we have the small steel lock right there, that liner lock that's pushed over. And that's how we have to close that, is push this over, and then we can close the blade. Now we do have a little bit of jimping right here on the top of the body when we flip this open, and jimping on the top of the blade. Jimping means a little bit of grip, if you will, usually kind of engraving or indentions here, like in the blade, where you can kind of hold your thumb and get some grip. So if you're really needing to cut in into a piece of leather or something like that, or a tarp, something like that, where you're really needing to dig a hole in and make a cut, you can get some leverage behind that with your thumb, and that's called jimping. So we do have some jimping on that drop point. Now this blade is going to run you between $15 and $16. By the way, I don't think I said so on this one. This one is $15. I think I said this one was $14. This one is $15. I've seen these for $15 and $16, like $14.97 and $15.97. And again, lifetime warranty. That is the drop point DWHT 10993. And finally, let's get to the DWHT 10994. And this is the same thing, just the tanto blade with some serration right here. As you can see on the drop point, there's no serration, just a smooth blade all the way down. Same stainless steel blade, no real markings on us to tell us what type of stainless steel it is. But we get that tanto point. And as you can see, some different bevels on the blade, not just a smooth transition with the serration right here in the kind of the backside of the blade. Again, we have jimping here. We have that ball bearing pivot point, which makes it very easy to flip open with index finger or thumb as well. Same deep pocket carry on the clip, and being able to flip that clip around and go blade up or blade down as well. So all aluminum body and ball bearing opening. This blade is going to also run you either $15 or $16. I've seen it both. So great knives from DeWalt, especially hitting that value sector of being kind of a $15 pocket carry. And by the way, I would say these are good for EDC or everyday carry. These are going to be good work, utility knives. If you're needing them, for the price, stepping up from a regular old box cutter to one of these, very handy to have a folder that you can put away in your pocket rather than having to have a, cardboard pocket that you got to slide it in or something like that. So check them out from DeWalt. We'll have links in the description. I venture to say if you don't carry a pocket knife and you work in any type of labor or blue collar, and probably in office as well, that you probably borrow a knife every day if you're not carrying one. And if you don't borrow it every day, I bet you're borrowing one once a week or something like a blade. I think, as I mentioned, it's one of the most useful tools you can have. My dad always said when I asked if he had his pocket knife, he would reply with, "I have my pants on, don't I?" Meaning, if he had his pants on, he had a pocket knife, and that's the way I am today. This is not my personal carry. I don't carry the DeWalt. I carry an Almar knife, a little bit nicer knife, a lot nicer knife. But at the same time, I'm not in the field ruining blades all the time. It used to be when I was in the field doing glass work, I was ruining a blade all the time. I was either having to all the time sharpen it or replace the knife. For that matter, for a $16 knife, who cares if I ruin it once a week? I go and buy a new one, and you're probably not going to ruin it once a week, but once a month, I don't think I'd even spend the time to sharpen it. I would just go and get me another knife and go at it if you're always digging at things and ruining a knife blade. So I think these are priced very value-centered or very valuable for the dollar. At less than $16 for any of these, I mean, it's hard to beat. The folding utility knife, you're going to know in your job whether you need that or not. A lot of people carry those box cutters, those open blades, things like that. And then they have to have pouches or cardboard pouches or, taped up pouches. I've seen all sorts of things. So if you can carry a folding utility knife for your work, this is a great one for that as well. I would go for the one with the storage in it so you can quickly swap out the blades. Anyway, if you're interested, we'll have a link in the description. If you're not, oh well. Hopefully you find another everyday carry for yourself. Also, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. If you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And by all means, if you hated our video, well, give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.